It was a crucial Commonwealth Day for the monarchy after Harry and Meghan used their vile Netflix reality series to try and tear down the late Queen's most treasured institution. Here's a reminder.
Two royal children hold titles to the British throne, but their birth certificates remain hidden behind legal threats and palace silence. Tom Bower just asked the question that could topple a monarchy. If Archie and Lilibet's bloodline can't be verified, are they even royals at all? King Charles knows the answer could destroy everything. Parliament's watching, the Commonwealth's waiting, and Harry's explosive threats against anyone asking questions tell us more than any DNA test ever could.
Met people in communities all around the world. And through that, I thought I knew. I thought I had an awareness to...
The mathematics of monarchy are brutal. Every person in the line of succession must have documented lineage. It's not tradition, it's law. The 1701 Act of Settlement demands legitimate descent. Yet here stand two children, fifth and sixth in line to the throne, whose births broke every royal protocol. No hospital announcements, no public presentations, no independent verification, just carefully controlled photographs and a wall of legal threats against anyone asking questions.
The shameless Sussexes have ensured their kids are known as Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet because it is their birthright. Well, Meghan's biographer Tom Bower joins me now to give his...
Royal historians note this unprecedented situation. Never before have children so close to the throne arrived with such opacity. When William's children were born, every detail was transparent. Medical teams were named, hospitals were identified, the chain of custody from birth to palace was documented. With Archie and Lilibet, there's only silence and secrecy. That's not privacy, that's concealment.
Analysis. Tom, it's interesting, isn't it? Because this Commonwealth Day actually was important because of all of the damage that Netflix series did literally a few weeks ago.
Tom Bower didn't create these questions. He amplified what palace insiders have whispered for years. The irregularities around both pregnancies defy explanation. Medical professionals point to inconsistencies that suggest alternative arrangements. The shifting appearance during public appearances, the absence of standard prenatal appointments, the complete lack of medical personnel willing to confirm direct involvement. These aren't conspiracy theories. They're documented absences of normal procedure.
We want our Californian kids to be prince and princess. It's beyond a joke. It's beyond a joke now.
Well, it's king and queen of hypocrisy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they are the arch hypocrites. And what's so awful about the Commonwealth thing is...
What transformed whispers into crisis was Harry's reaction. Legal experts say his explosive response to Bower reveals more than any investigation could. Innocent people demand investigations to clear their names. Guilty people threaten lawsuits to silence questions. Harry chose threats. That choice speaks volumes about what he fears might be discovered.
54 nations were part of it, and they have demeaned it by saying that it's all Empire Stroke 2 and the Netflix thing. But, of course, the greatest damage which the Sussexes have done to the Commonwealth is their accusation.
The palace's position grows more precarious daily. Charles cannot acknowledge children whose legitimacy remains unverified without risking the monarchy's credibility. But he cannot demand proof without admitting doubts exist. This paralysis has created a vacuum where speculation thrives. Every day without resolution adds another layer of doubt that may never be removed.
Which he then peddled back on Harry, because he knew it was untrue. It was one of Meghan's many lies. And that is really what's so awful. And that's why Charles tried very hard yesterday to assert the importance of the Commonwealth. He's quite right.
Consider the constitutional implications. If questions persist about bloodline, Parliament could intervene. The Succession to the Crown Act requires legitimate birth. Without proof, these children exist in legal limbo. They hold titles that may be invalid. They claim positions they may not deserve. This isn't about feelings or family drama. It's about the legal foundation of constitutional monarchy.
Well, the problem is it's had none of the pickup as the Netflix series did. What did you make of the prince and princess thing? Because it felt very telling to me that the royal family didn't...
The surrogacy question isn't moral judgment. It's legal reality. Surrogacy itself isn't the issue. The deception would be. If alternative methods were used and hidden, that's fraud against the crown. If children were presented as natural born when they weren't, that's constitutional crisis. The monarchy survived Diana's death, Charles's divorce, and Andrew's scandals. It might not survive fraudulent succession.
Until they absolutely had to. Do you think Charles was hoping that Harry and Meghan would say, oh, you know what, we actually don't want the title?
Well, I think this is a very sad indication of King Charles's.
William's silence speaks louder than any statement could. As direct heir, he has the most to protect. His children's positions could shift based on these revelations. Yet he maintains total distance from his nephew and niece. No public interactions, no private visits confirmed, no photographs together. That's not coincidence. That's calculated separation from potential scandal.
Which prevented them taking the titles. And just in the same way that he can't decide, really, whether Harry should come to the coronation or not. I mean, clearly, as a father, he'd like him there, but this isn't about being the father. This is about...
The DNA solution seems simple until you examine the ramifications. Testing would either confirm legitimacy or expose deception. But even demanding tests admits uncertainty exists. The monarchy operates on assumption of legitimacy. Once you question one bloodline, you question them all. Where does verification stop? This is the trap Charles faces. International implications compound the crisis. The Commonwealth realms require legitimate succession. Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and others recognize the British monarch through bloodline. If that bloodline becomes questionable, their constitutional arrangements collapse. This isn't just British drama. It's a potential dissolution of global monarchical structure.
And he should make quite clear that Harry is not welcome. But everything about Charles is so indecisive. He can't even at the moment decide whether he should wear a uniform or not on the coronation, or breeches. And he can't decide which religious...
The children themselves become the ultimate victims. Archie and Lilibet didn't choose secrecy. They didn't create controversy, yet they'll inherit its consequences. If legitimacy questions persist, their entire identities become suspect. Every achievement will be questioned. Every position will be challenged. They'll live under a shadow their parents created, but they must endure. Financial forensics add another layer. Royal inheritance requires legitimate descent. Millions in trust funds, properties, and positions depend on bloodline verification. If questions remain, legal challenges could emerge. Other royals could contest inheritance. The government could intervene. What starts as family drama becomes financial litigation that could last generations. The American factor complicates everything. U.S. law doesn't recognize titles without substance. If bloodline questions persist, American courts might not acknowledge their royal status. This creates a bizarre situation where children are princes in Britain, but commoners in California. That legal schizophrenia would follow them forever. Public opinion has already shifted from curiosity to demand. Social media campaigns for transparency grow daily. Petitions for DNA testing gain signatures. The public that once sympathized now feels deceived. They supported a family narrative that may be fiction. That sense of betrayal won't fade without resolution. The dangerous precedent extends beyond this generation. If bloodline questions can be avoided through legal threats and palace silence, future succession becomes meaningless. Any child could be presented as royal without verification. The entire system of hereditary monarchy collapses into farce. That's why this crisis transcends Harry and Meghan. Medical ethicists raise uncomfortable questions. If surrogacy was used, who are the biological parents? Do those individuals have rights? Could they emerge later with claims? The potential for future revelation creates permanent instability. Even if this generation stays silent, science doesn't forget. DNA evidence remains forever. The time factor works against Harry and Meghan. Every year without resolution adds doubt. Every birthday deepens questions. As the children grow, physical resemblances or their absence become evidence. The very passage of time becomes their enemy, revealing what legal threats try to hide. Palace protocols exist for exactly this situation, yet they're being ignored. Royal births require specific documentation. Medical attendance must be verified. Chain of custody must be established. These aren't archaic traditions. They're safeguards against exactly this controversy. By bypassing them, Harry and Meghan created the crisis they now face. The Commonwealth Day timing wasn't coincidental. While Charles attempted to strengthen global bonds, questions about his grandchildren's legitimacy undermined that very foundation. How can the Commonwealth trust a crown that can't verify its own bloodline? The symbolism was devastating. Behind closed doors, constitutional lawyers are preparing for every scenario. What happens if proof emerges of deception? Can titles be retroactively removed? Would succession automatically adjust? These aren't theoretical exercises anymore. They're active preparations for potential revelation. The isolation strategy won't work forever. Harry and Meghan can threaten lawsuits, issue denials, and maintain silence. But eventually, truth emerges. Through leaked documents, insider testimony, or the children themselves demanding answers. Secrets this significant don't stay buried. They resurface at the worst possible moments. The moral question overshadows the legal one. Even if bloodline could be hidden successfully, should it be? Don't the British people deserve transparency about their future monarchy? Don't the children deserve honesty about their identity? The ethical weight of deception grows heavier than any crown. This crisis reveals the monarchy's deepest vulnerability. It's not Republicans or scandals that threaten the crown. It's the possibility that the very foundation of legitimacy through bloodline might be compromised. Once that doubt exists, it never fully disappears. The questions become permanent, even if temporarily silenced. The resolution seems impossible without destruction. Demand proof and admit doubt. Stay silent and let speculation fester. Either path leads toward institutional crisis. That's the corner Harry and Meghan have backed everyone into. Not through mistake, but through deliberate choices to hide what should be transparent. The verdict of history will be harsh either way. If the children are legitimate, the secrecy caused unnecessary damage. If they're not, the deception destroyed an institution. There's no winning outcome anymore, only degrees of loss. That's the price of choosing obscurity over transparency in matters of succession. The crown's greatest threat isn't revolution or republic. It's the possibility that the next generation's legitimacy can't be verified. That doubt, once planted, grows into constitutional crisis. Tom Bower didn't create this problem. He simply forced everyone to acknowledge what was already there. Questions that demand answers the Sussexes seem unable or unwilling to provide.